What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shonen Speakeasy podcast. I'm your host, L.Q.
And this is a Big Chill, aka Lanny. You know what it is.
Today, we wanted to finally, before everything died off, get into the the saga that is pretty much now ended
Yeah.
of the big three. You know, Drake and J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar and everything that happened between them. And we're gonna break down each part of it, literally from beginning to end. I guess we should start from from first person shooter. And like, I just have to ask, did you think any shots were taken to Kendrick? Like before any breakdowns or analysis had came out, did you think that there was any shots towards Kendrick in that song?
I mean, not really. I mean, like when I first heard it, I was just like, okay, he's just recognizing what everybody really does say about all three of them is, we consider them the big three. So I mean, like when I first heard it, like in passing, and a couple of times after, I was just like, okay. I mean, he's just acknowledging what most listeners already know. So I didn't really take it as too much of a diss or whatever, at least in my eyes.
Fair enough. I essentially the only thing that I thought was any shade, and I mean I am thinking of everything possible because I do take a very analytical approach to rap, and I like staying on top of things like what's going on and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, the only thing that I thought was even remotely shade was the fact that he wasn't on the song, and that was it. There's nothing else, not
That
a
makes
single
sense.
bar. I took nothing out of context, but it was just like all this, like there was a decent part of that being, about the big three or about being the biggest rappers. And essentially, if you listen to the song enough and you like really just care for lyrics, it sounds like it's incomplete. Like without having a third person. Granted, sound wise, it should have been Kendrick. Unpopular opinion, I think Big Sean should have been on the song because he doesn't have a problem with any of them. But also, Big Sean is like the nerdy kid in the classroom, which like nobody really talks to him. But like as far as status in rap, yes, Kendrick should have probably been at least on first person shooter. Even if it was the hook, I don't care. But
And
we
he,
know
he
about
definitely they fit in that song for sure. Yeah, I can see that.
yeah. And but overall, I think I think First Person Shooter is a good song. It's the best song on Drake's album. That album is a huge letdown besides that song. There's there's only a couple other highlights, but essentially that is the highlight of the entire album. And it's of course the reason why it was, you know, a number one for J. Cole. But I think that was J. Cole's first number one
It
ever.
was. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna put a pin in that statement. We're gonna get back to that too. Um so from that being the origin of everything, do you believe that Kendrick is justified in responding on like that or the way that he did?
Not for that song. At least I don't think so. I just think like if I was, I guess in Kendrick's mind, the fact that you would group him with Drake and J Cole, he sees himself as above them. So maybe he took offense to, oh, you trying to say, oh, all three of us, are basically even or whatever. So yeah, fuck all that. Um, that's the only thing I can really think of. But I do appreciate, regardless of how he took it, even though I don't think he should have took it any type of way. I do appreciate that he did give us, another verse from Kendrick because it's been a couple of years already, since Mr. Morale. So I appreciate him giving us another verse. I didn't expect it to get to this point to where got niggas over here scared and apologizing and stuff like that. I think that's kind of crazy. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I didn't think he needed to respond to first person shooter, but like I said, people take things certain different ways, and I can't tell Kendrick he shouldn't do certain way, a certain thing or whatever. But hey, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm a fan of rap. Um, fan of beef or anything like that. Obviously, I know that they're good friends and stuff, but when it comes to getting older, a lot of people don't want to deal with all that, which is what Cole was saying. But it's just friendly competition. Nobody wanted them to actually go against each other, fight or kill or anything like this. So,
No, no, I'm kind of down for a Kendrick Drake boxing match.
well, I mean, those two for sure, they may have to get down. But when it comes to friendly fire, towards J. Cole or whatever,
Oh yeah,
like he just happened to get caught in the in the crosshairs or whatever. But at the end of the day, I would always say that Kendrick is obviously number one for me. I think Drake will be two, and then three will be Cole. But I think Drake, in regards to like sales and stuff like that, carries a lot, and the influence that he has carries a lot to make him number two.
that's true.
Now, when it comes
That's
to my
true. And
personal
it
preference, I'll probably listen to Kendrick and Cole first, and then maybe Drake, because the last couple of albums from Drake, honestly, never mind. I know some people, well, a lot of people that I know like that album. It ain't my, cup of tea or whatever.
it's his
But
worst reviewed album, so I can say a large majority of people outside of your circle did not like that album.
yeah, anytime I tell people I don't like it, they were like, "Oh, well, you just don't like to dance." I was like, "That has nothing to do with it, bro."
Yeah,
Like,
I somebody gave me that BS and was like, "You don't like the album because you don't understand. Like, you just listen to rap all the time. You don't listen to house music or anything like that." And I was like, "Cool. So tell me who Black Coffee is.
uh,
Now tell me who's one of the people that came from the Black Coffee tree as far as house producers. Now
crickets.
tell me who was tell me who was the primary producer on the Renaissance album. Whenever you can do that, then you can tell me that I don't listen to house music. And
Yeah,
that's the thing that just
that's
made
just
me angry.
that's still just like a cop out, um, especially like in regards to J. Cole copping out. Um, Whenever you don't like something, people just always go to that cop out opinion. Oh, well, you don't like house music, you don't like this. I'm not saying that. There's a couple of songs on the album that I did like, but do they have any replay value for me? No, they don't. I haven't been back to the album in a very long time. Then Certified Lover Boy, I haven't touched that since it came out. Um,
Yeah.
and Her
There's like
Loss,
three
whatever.
songs I have on there that I absolutely love. And the rest of the album I do not like.
I might go back just to see if there was anything that, like I said, holds replay value to me. And then Her Loss or whatever. I mean, there's a couple of songs on there that I like, but it's not anything where I'm like, oh man, I gotta have this on repeat. Going on a drive or something like that. No, I don't have any of those type of songs from there. At least I don't think so. But
That's fair.
like I said, I can always go back and listen to the albums and go back and see if there was anything that catches my ear still. But with that being said, when it comes to people trying to slander Kendrick all because of this verse, and niggas trying to tell me, oh, well, To Pimp a Butterfly don't have no replay value. It was boring. It was a snooze fest. I can literally listen to almost any song on that album every day and be just fine. But like I said, that's just me.
Yeah. For me personally, it is my favorite listening experience in rap. Like the same feeling that I have for To Pimp a Butterfly, I have about What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, which for those that don't know, that is my all-time favorite album ever. I don't care what you put up against it. It can be Michael Jackson, it can be Stevie Wonder, it can be Prince. Marvin Gaye's What's Going On to me is the most timeless classic I have ever heard.
It
And
is
then follow that
fantastic.
with To Pimp a Butterfly. But yeah, I love it. So needless to say, I also love Kendrick's album. But also this is not to ignore that I have owned all the I've owned most of the discography of every artist we're talking about. Now, Drake has the least amount of physical copies owned because the one thing that I wanted the most was so far gone, and I couldn't get the physical. So I just kind of gave up on Drake physical copies because the only other one I probably would have bought was either Take Care or Nothing Was the Same. I think I borrowed Take Care for the longest. I don't know who gave it to me, but I remember not giving it back for like 2 years. Like it was a long time. And
Yeah, nothing
that's
was
when
the
I got
same was the last Drake album that I bought physically.
right. And see, that was that's when I got really deep into the digital music space around that time because Yeezy, I had Yeezus and all this stuff, but I had them all on my computer.
Mhm.
And then I had the aux cord and all that stuff, so I just gave up on. Well, basically, when I got a good smartphone, folks, I was very late to the game. I didn't get a good smartphone until college, and the the thing that we were talking about earlier, I had an iPod Touch too, that I had everything on. Well,
Shout out to the iPod Touch, man.
a big shout out to the iPod Touch. You held it down for a long time. I had a really crappy phone, so I always kept my iPod Touch, and I would forever play all my music off the iPod Touch. And then when I finally got a good phone, I dove straight into the digital music space, and I basically was like, "All right, I'm done buying physical copies, unless it's stuff that I just couldn't find anywhere." But anyway, gotta reel myself back in before we get too far off topic. I think Kendrick was justified in responding not to just uh, not to just the song, but to his feelings towards Drake in general. Because Drake has been a person that has always been very slick with his disrespect,
Yeah.
and after a while, it catches up to you. Like when people are like, "Karma catch up with you." I think this was Drake's like true karma moment, or outside of the Pusha T beef. And I think the reason why Kendrick came at both of them the way that he did is, like whenever, for instance, if I have somebody that's an enemy of mine that I truly don't like, if you say, well, that person's not necessarily my problem, I don't dislike them, but I get why you don't like them. Cool. I just don't expect you to like hang out with them in my face or like throw it in my face that you're chilling with them.
Mhm.
But then like imagine that going on for a decade. And then like you work on them on big projects and you're like, "Oh, okay, that's nice." And then y'all hang out together and then y'all like y'all are in pictures and photo albums together. And I'm of course relating this to non-music, but this also relates to them. But like you can stand close enough to somebody to get caught in the crosshairs. I do not blame I don't think it's bad of Kendrick to have also shot strays at J. Cole. I think it's purely J. Cole's fault. You know exactly the relationship between Kendrick and Drake. And there's no inclination or sign that you have tried to do anything to foster this relationship with Kendrick to have it at the same level or close to the same level. We all know that in like this is everybody that loves rap music that's in like the 22 to like 35 age bracket. We have all been waiting for the Kendrick J. Cole collab album. So before anybody says anything about who's better, before they say one person is garbage, before they say that their like discography is trash, the one thing that we have all wanted since the Black Friday freestyles is for them to do a full-blown collab album.
Mhm.
We got a little bit of it in Forbidden Fruit. What was the other song that they did together? We got, I mean, of course, the Black Fridays freestyles, and is pretty much the peak of that because we had them going over each other's verses. But other than that, like we haven't gotten what we truly wanted, and it kind of sucks. So we were all waiting on that, and of course, Forbidden Fruit pissed all of us off because Kendrick just did the chorus. Oh, they ready? They when DJ Khaled got him, Big Crit, and J. Cole together. That was like the perfect song. That was one of the last times DJ Khaled did anything genius. But So for anyone that's saying like, "Oh, this person's ass," like there's a lot of people saying Kendrick's so overrated. J. Cole is so garbage. And it's like, but you were also a person that wanted these two people to seriously work together. So just push that aside. Now you picking sides and now you just throwing yourself to a fandom. That's way beyond measure. But to reel myself back in, I don't blame him for going at both of them. One, you've had a 10-year beef, like 10-year Cold War with Drake, and you finally said enough is enough because Drake moves in a different way when he doesn't like someone. The same way he did with Kanye. Did he diss Kanye? Absolutely. But
Mm,
the way that he moved in the industry behind closed doors is what really pissed Kanye off. And we already know Kanye is not all the way there.
yeah.
So it was a lot easier to get under his skin, and we all thought that Kanye was off. I'm trying not to use that word,
Mm.
but was off for his reaction. And it's like, is he completely? Was Kanye wrong? Completely wrong in his reaction? Nah, we just didn't get to see how Drake actually moves. I mean, this is the same person that was paying, that was like trying to pay people for dirt on Pusha T, and then nobody accepted the money. Like, there's a different way that Drake moves, and that's how he gets under people's skin. Except Kendrick channeled it and put it in a verse, and he is very meticulous about how he moves as well. But he's meticulous how he moves in music, and that leads me to the other part of this, which is the response, not only from his verse from a critical standpoint, but the actual response from J. Cole. So I'll lead that off to you. What did you think overall of the verse and the song? Actually, tell me what you thought of the whole song and the verse.
Talking about 7 minute drill.
No. Like that first. We're starting at the beginning of this saga.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so in regards to like that, I mean, obviously I liked it. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's just basic bars and this and that." Like if you do just a little bit of diligence, you would understand that it's a little bit more than that. Especially the Prince outlive Mike, that line in
No, yeah,
particular. Um,
that's a hard line. For it to be so simple, it's such a hard line.
yeah, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, so you're admitting that Drake is MJ?" And I was like, "Okay, like I know that's the only thing that people really take away from that or whatever." But I mean, that's how you should feel as as an MC, basically. Like you should feel like you're the best. I want to be challenged by anybody who believes that they're the best. And the fact that Drake have said, many times that he feels like he's the best. I mean, he literally just said it on, a first person shooter. Like, go ahead, go again. Who to go? Like, he said it. Cole has said it in many raps. So of course it's okay for Kendrick to, be a little braggadocious and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Ultimately, ultimately, like I said, I love it because, like I said, it brings him back. Because after Mr. Morale and how everybody was trying to downplay that album and pretend like, oh well, that shit flopped or whatever. And I'm just like, it ain't my fault that y'all niggas don't want to recognize, a therapeutic album and stuff like that. And I know people can say the same thing For Your Eyes Only, for J. Cole, but it didn't hit as good for me as Mr. Morale did. Um, but yeah, overall, like I said, the verse was great to me. You know, he didn't go over the top, but I figured that he would go over the top if Drake responds or something like that.
yeah.
Because J. Cole responding, that's not his primary target. He's been coming at Drake for a while now, and I think as soon as Drake, because I do think that Drake is going to drop something. I don't know when, but I think he will drop something. And when that happens, I think that's when we're going to get the actual bars that Kendrick want to say.
That's funny. I have a different take on that. Um, I think the like this song, and this is gonna sound like a complete shock to you. I think the entire song is good. Like either like even Future's part, which and I can't stand Future,
Yeah,
but
same
I
here.
really I really like Metro. Metro has grown on like Metro is the ninth wonder of like Gen Z, pretty much.
I can see that.
And I he has all my respect as a producer. I think he's leading the way. And the sample that he took, I instantly recognized it, but I recognized it from like two. I mean, of course, I recognized from two songs because it's from Easy Does It and Everlasting Bass, so that was confusing. But when it came to Kendrick's verse, to me, it's like an 8.5 out of 10 verse.
Mhm.
You know, like a 10 verse to me would be um like Big Crit on One Train or his Mount Olympus track, you know, Kendrick on Control or a you know, verse 2 of Takeover.
I
Like
think that's
those
what
are
I think I'm
huh?
looking for that. I think that's what I'm looking for. That Kendrick's Control Part Two verse. So like
See, that's
I agree with your rating. You know,
oh, I appreciate that. I think that's a really high standard for him to reach. And I think that it's a little bit of a lofty expectation, but that comes with being in the position that Kendrick Lamar is. So it's just like you know, am I let down by it? Absolutely not. It's a pretty fire verse. Like, is it now? Did I expect it to take an entire track to number one? No. I thought it was gonna like stick around the 10 range. Like, I don't know why people are acting like Future just puts out number one hits all the time. He doesn't, but this is the only song that really got traction on this entire album.
the whole
And
song
it's a
flowed
Metro.
weird.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
because even after Kendrick goes off and stuff, I'm like, oh damn, here comes Future. Oh wait a minute, this actually sounds kind of good.
Right? And I was just like, oh, okay. But yeah,
So,
I'm impressed. And the thing that there was a comparison that when people were drawing comparisons between Drake and I mean not Drake, but yeah, Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick. One thing they were saying is what the people that would put Kendrick third were saying that he was not as versatile, which I know you don't even, bro, you don't even have to say it. But I was like, well, the thing is, if he's made this jazzy rap album that you keep saying, you know, this funk jazz album that you keep saying is not that good, and his first album is, I think Good Kid, Mad City is way more commercial than Damn. But for people that think that Damn is his most commercial album, I'll take it, whatever. But I think that people were seeking versatility, as in like doing more commercial stuff that isn't necessarily in his wheelhouse. This is the best example of versatility that we've seen.
mhm.
Like in even with you know, even like Goosebumps is another great verse from Kendrick where it's just like this is versatility. Mask Off, another great verse and versatility. Like there's stuff like that where I'm just like I can't see how people disagree with it. If if you don't like this verse because you like J. Cole and Drake, that's fine. But if you don't like this verse because you don't think it is well written, you're outside your goddamn mind. This is a great verse. Um, I think if he wanted to go harder, he could have. I think what really would have made this an even harder verse or close to a 10 out of 10, I say like what would have made it a 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, if he just straight up said Drake's name, and if he said Drake's name with all disrespect possible, if he just called him Aubrey, like even he could have he could have been like, for all your dogs getting buried, that's okay with all them nines. He gonna see Pet Cemetery nigga Drake, and I'm like something. It could have been simple. He could have just said his name, and I would have been like, you know what, 9. Because I do like, I know a lot of people want directness with their disses, and it's just like, I get it. He could have been like, Drake keep talking out of his neck. Don't pull a coffin out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. I would have been anywhere where people saw saw Aubrey Drake Graham's name or Jermaine Cole. They would have been a little bit more intrigued, and I think that's kind of the drawback and the criticism. But I'm just like, so J. Cole didn't say his name either. Like, So it's just like it's a weird critique. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's it on the verse for me and the song. Now we can branch into les response.
Or lack of response.
Yeah. Also, wait a minute. Before we even, I want to break down the lyrics of the verse before we move on, because I know some people are not like impressed, but I just the way that Kendrick writes is really impressive to me because it is like a mix between somebody like MF Doom, Lupe, and then Tupac. And I know those are very high profile names, but what I want people to understand is like MF Doom is very erratic in his flow, and it's like it almost sounds random. But then there's like a bunch of and there's some animation behind it too. And then with Lupe, it's like the layered wordplay is very elegantly done. And then there's Tupac, who is has a very strong delivery and is like in your face. Like Tupac's lyricism comes from experience and relatability. I do think, and I will say this, and I'll expand on it later. I do think Kendrick doesn't have the relatability of the other two in the big three, but that's fine. And that's still kind of a Tupac relatability thing, but earlier Tupac was not as relatable. Anyway, so to break down this verse in a quick way, because I do want to get to the next part. Let's see. These niggas talking out of their necks. Don't pull a coffin out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. I think this line is already dope because they, like, J. Cole was already talking about we turning your songs into funerals. The direct response is don't pull a coffin out of your mouth. Basically, don't get yourself buried in my lyrics. And
And
it's
he
a
did.
direct response. Yeah, and like it's already a direct response from the very beginning. I love that. It's almost like he pulled up his verse and just wrote the polar opposite and attacked each bar.
Hmm.
All right. Hey, let's get it, bro. DOT, the money, rap, power, respect. The last one is better. Say it's a lot of goofies with a check. We already know who DOT is. It's Kendrick. It's K. Dot. Money, power, respect. We already know these three things can either be separate and they can identify each artist. And Kendrick is saying the one with the respect is the better one, aka Kendrick. Kendrick has already established himself to be respected in the game. Or to say all three, basically the Thanos glove of rap music to have all three of them, but nothing is more fulfilling than respect. Anyway, so say it's a lot of goofies with a check. We already know that one. The 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 shot at people on social media that are verified or are living by their verification, but also Goofy, a dog, check, Nike, basically saying that Drake is a goofy ass nigga.
Yeah.
Because Drake has his deal with Nike.
Yeah. OVO.
And also, he also has the track Jumpman
Yeah.
Nike. I'm not gonna reach on that one, but it could be taken that way. But like I said, I'm not gonna reach on anything, I promise you. If it's not enough to to explain it fully, I will not make assumptions. And that's probably one of the things that I'm gonna have to explain later too with J. Cole's diss as well. But we'll get there. I mean, I hope them sentiments symbolic. My temperament bipolar, I choose violence. So he's saying like, oh, I see that you gave me a nod in your song, and I hope that was supposed to mean something, and you're not just doing it to shade me. But since I'm bipolar about it, I'll say that you were fucking with me.
Yeah.
which is kind of wild to like hear somebody's thought process in that instance. But okay, let's get it up. It's time for him to prove that he's a problem. Niggas clicking up, but cannot be legit. No 40 water. So this one probably my second favorite punchline in the whole thing. We already know the click would be J. Cole and Drake being really close compared to the click, a rap duo of Be Legit and of Be Legit and E40. E40's nickname locally is 40 Water because of his flow. I think that's a great play. And it's saying like they can't be they're not even a legit click because they're not willing to prove themselves to be the best artists at what they do. So he says, "Get up with me. If Sneak this in first person shooter, I hope they came with 3 switches." So yeah, that bar is hard. I don't know why I didn't think that to say that one was gonna be one of the. I don't know why I didn't pick that one. It's probably like my favorite bars. But yeah, we already know it's a direct response to first person shooter. Switches on the gun, like you can make them automatic, or I know that there's usually, I think it's illegal to even have a switch on a pistol, but you can have a
It
switch
is.
on it and it changes its firing rate. But also the switches, which is a notable parable, is like I hope that they came with it. Like they said that we're the big 3. I hope that, they came with something else because there is no big 3. Like I am the 3. So they need to come with 3 switches. They need to have like something better than what they're doing right now. Or they need to either switch up who they are, like where they are in this stance. So that'll probably honestly be like my weakest explanation, because there was like this other long dissertation about it, and I was like, I don't know if that's a read or not. But from what I know, of course, like I said, first person shooter, guns, nines come with switches. Even other things come with switches to make them automatic. He's already said that, you can't be legit. So what would you do if you're not legit? You switch. Anyway, let's go. So say I crash out, fuck rap, diss Melly Mel if I had to. So even saying that, even if I had to prove to be the best by dissing a founding father of what we have to get my respect, I'll do it. Got 2 T's with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. So I just think that's dope. It doesn't make like there's an like, first of all, that's like direct shots at the OVO. Like take the OVO chain and burn the tattoo off of him. And he's saying like I got security with me. Like if you want to make threats, I got my backup with me. So let's see. If I walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K. That's beautiful. Direct response to the Dreamville track stick. If I walk around with the stick, it's not gonna be about peace. That's as easy as it gets. It's not gonna be about peace. You want to compare yourself to Andre 3K? Well, if you see me walking around with the stick, one, it's not gonna be the peaceful dude. It's not gonna be J. Cole. It's gonna be the one that earlier already chose violence. Yeah, so he about that action.
Absolutely.
Think I won't drop the location? I still got PTSD. So here's a funny thing about this line is also a callback to Kanye. If you listen to 7 a.m. on Bridal Path and Kanye's response to it, he was talking about how Drake had his location and he was like circling around his house. And he was like, he had his goons driving around my house and my kids inside. That's also a response to that, saying, oh, I got PTSD, but guess what? I'll let you know exactly where I am. So, motherfuck the big 3, nigga, it's just big me. Then calls him a bum. You know what? Don't have to explain that. That's been all over TikTok, which I honestly think they kind of overplayed that because the other bars are way harder. But anyway, who cares?
It's the most catchiest. That's why,
It is. I'm really like that. And your best work is a light pack. Prince outlive Mike Jack. For people that don't understand this, because dear Lord, there were so many people that got upset and they were like, so you accept being second?
Yeah, I've heard that way many times.
In first person shooter itself. I don't understand how people miss that. He already said I'm one away from Michael, nigga beat it. What? So what he's saying is that look at how big Michael was. Michael was huge. But that all means nothing when you don't have the respect and longevity of Prince. Who is Prince? Prince is the same dude that let his hair down like Prince and mask off. He's been he referred to himself as Prince, and I believe in, God dang it, it's another song. Oh my God, I can't remember the other song. Well, that sucks. But anyway, we'll just stick with the one from Mask Off Remix. He's already referred to himself as Prince. He's even said that his one of his favorite artists ever and who he resembles most is Prince in interviews. We got it. So, in other words, my career and my respect will outlast any popularity that you've ever had. And then, of course, for all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these nines. He gonna see Pet Cemetery, which of course is the hardest bar. He saved the hardest bar for last, and I love it. We already know the album for all the dogs getting buried. Which mean he already said it was a light pack, so he's already saying I've already done trashed your whole album in one verse. Other part, Drake and his crew is all the dogs. All the dogs about to get buried in this verse as well. That's a K with all these nines. K can also represent a 10 or Kendrick, surrounded by nines. Drake and Cole, that was nice of him to say the 9 out of 10s. Or, the big gun, the AK, surrounded by 9 millimeters. You bury them with the bigger gun. And there's probably one more, but once again, if it's not easily explained, I'm not going to assume.
You've done a good enough job, though.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But there's, you know, I already had and the K9, of course. The big dog with the little dogs. He gonna make them see Pet Cemetery. So there's 3. That's like a quadruple entendre already. So that on its own makes that last line just great. But yeah, so that's the reason why we think it's an 8.5 out of 10 verse. And then on to the response. Now, before we even get into the whole response, we did listen to the entire album. Do you want to give like a brief overview of what you thought of the album?
I think overall it was a quality project, especially given he's been hyping the follow off for so long, and the fact that he was even working on a separate project on top of that. I think it was a very quality album. Easily, my favorite song off of there is Pie, but it's mostly because of Absol, because I have Absol as one of my favorites. And,
Oh yeah,
and
easily.
just seeing everybody's reaction, whenever he starts rapping and stuff, like there's levels to it. But
There's
yeah,
hella levels.
yeah. But overall, I think it was a very good project. Even if you do take off the diss, I still think it's a quality project. I
I
wouldn't
think
say,
honest. Well, it's gonna get deleted soon enough, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I don't want to break down
yeah.
that whole thing yet.
But yeah, overall quality project, from start to finish. Definitely has some gems. Trying to remember my favorite ones is Pie. I know I have what
Straight
was it,
Truth and
3000?
Ibiza.
Yeah, that one. Um
3001 was
was
one
it,
of my favorites. You said to take that off your list.
yeah, because of the Trey song. But I still liked
Oh,
it.
got it. Okay, cool.
Ready 24.
Yeah,
Uh
I'm gonna be bumping that for a while.
yeah.
Ready 24 is great.
It was a short, well, it felt like it was short, but all in all, it has replay value for me. I've been listening to it, throughout the week or so, and I will continue to.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
And I actually bought the digital version, so when it comes to streaming and he takes off 7 minute drill, it doesn't matter. I bought it, so it don't matter.
I still have it. I will. It's they say it's his 4th mixtape, so I guess. I mean,
Well,
he owns the rights on these also.
if you put it in
Whatever.
that light, you put it in that light as a mixtape, then I would say that it's probably right behind Friday Night Lights. I still think Friday Night Lights beats that this
Oh yeah,
project. So yeah, I would put it like right behind it.
I feel weird that it's labeled as a mixtape and not just an album because mixtapes are kind of dead now. But it's whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
you
if
call it
if
whatever you
the
want.
right, it's a project. This is a rap now. Would you want to give it a numerical rating, or you don't want, or you not in the mood to?
Yeah, I can get one. I would say probably give it a 7 out of 10.
Nice,
Yeah,
cool.
7 out of 10.
So I think pretty much the same thing. Think it's a quality project. I'm glad that he made it. Um, there are some components of it that I am still disappointed in, but then also very excited about. I will tell everyone now, I am not going to get into the trans line.
Yeah,
End of
me either.
story. Not that, and I mean, we had Jenna Beyond the Binary here. We You should know if you don't understand now, listen to the last episode. Yes, we are definitely big time supporters of the LBGTIQA community. It's just that to me, I listen to music like on. I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody, but I analyze lyrics on a different level because I understand intent. I understand how it came out, and the same thing with Auntie Diaries is like there were people that were really mad. I understand. I understood how it came out. I understood what the intent was. So for me to not be in that community, I don't want to give an opinion that is not backed in experience. So I'm honestly just going to leave it to the communities that have a response. I will say it is part of our responsibility to bring light to it. That some people are not very fond of it. That if they are thoroughly upset with it and that community wants to continue supporting J. Cole, he should say something about it.
Hmm.
If people stop listening to him because of it, I understand.
Yep.
But the thing that I do not like are the diehard fans that are just like F that community because, F that community. It's J. Cole over everything. Chill out. That man does not know you. That's not even a part of what he's been rapping about over the past, 15 years? So let's not.
That parasocial dynamic that I don't like.
Exactly. So like let's not do that. Let's just not do that. But I thought the project was pretty good. There's still like some holes in J. Cole's writing to me that I keep thinking like, man, he'll get over it. He'll get over it. And I just don't think he's ever gonna get past that hump. And that makes me sad because I know where there's songs where like, my biggest problem, I'll say this now. My biggest problem with J. Cole his entire career has been that he spread himself too thin. He was a producer, he was engineering, and he was rapping. I don't think J. Cole is meant for that, and he never should have been. I think J. Cole can be, and usually is, a top tier rapper if he stops producing.
Mhm.
Overall, I don't want him to touch any part of the creative process other than creating lyric, like other than writing the music and creating the flow and getting down the melodies. That is it. Don't touch any buttons, no switches, no nothing.
Yeah.
You get in there, you spit, you write, you spit, you get out. You get some suggestions on how you want it to sound at the end of the day. You don't touch the tables. So, with him stepping away from that more and more in his career, I have grown to like him even more. He's the person I've seen live the most. I think I've been to 3 J. Cole concerts. I bought most of his projects. This one ranks fairly highly for me. And my favorite tracks are Ready 24, just like you. Pie is definitely number one. Stole the show. Um, 3001, I like a lot, a whole lot.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Trade the Truth and the Bees is pretty good too. And Crocodile Tears. I like most of the songs on here. I hate hunting wabbits. I don't want to hear that again. I can guarantee, like, there's 3 songs. There's always this one problem that J. Cole has. J. Cole don't ever have a song that I just am okay with. He always makes like 1 or 2 songs. I'm just like, why did you make this shit? So,
Hey, that's fair.
Hunt, Hunting Wabbits is definitely one of them. Fever is definitely another one. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why did you put this on here? Um, I think Stealth Mode was like all around like unpopular. Like nobody even really cared to look up the lyrics for the song. Like if you look on Genius, it's like literally the lowest viewed out of everything.
Mhm.
So, but I will say I also didn't like HYB, and it's not because of J. Cole or Central C. I don't know if people know I actually do kind of like UK rappers. I say kinda because I only like about 4. Um, but my number one is Little Sims. I think Little Sims is one of the greatest rappers of all time, and she's a UK rapper. But anyway, um, and Central C's entertaining. He's he's corny at times, so he's entertaining. But the hook to the song sucks. And we ball like TNT. Watch them hoes all pick a side. Bitches fly like TMZ. Every time we come outside, call Uber SUV. How me gon' fit inside? Like and I like Boss, which makes me even more angry because he
Yeah,
shouldn't have been on.
shit fire.
Yeah, you shut up. But I don't like the song. Central C's verse was cool, but overall, I could definitely live without that. So it went kind of like it was a weird roller coaster for me. But overall, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Anytime you get Alchemist on your project, it's lit. Daylight, I don't know if you knew, but Daylight produced Pie.
Oh, he did.
Yes. It's
I
pretty
assumed
good.
that. I had to assume that someone else had did.
Right? Same. Because there's a what's his name? T minus is all over. T minus is one of my favorite producers ever. But he's all over this project. And the only thing that I didn't like that he did, I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, now it's time to the moment. 7-minute drill at the very end of the album. What did you think of the what did you think of the track? And yeah, pretty much that's it. What did you think of the track as a response or as a song itself?
As a song itself, taking out the viewpoint of a diss track, I thought it was an enjoyable song. I like the pace, the delivery, I like the beat. Um, Now, when it comes to just the diss itself, I definitely thought it was like a watered down diss because it felt like whenever he was going at Kendrick, I didn't feel like the passion in it or whatever, and I guess that's why whenever he came out and apologized and wanted to backtrack and stuff, I was like, yeah, I probably would too because you can honestly tell that his heart wasn't really in it. He just felt like, oh well, everybody's basically been hyping me up the last week or so. When you gonna respond? When you gonna respond? Oh, fuck it. I guess I'll respond. Like that's what it kind of felt like to me, like a peer pressure type diss. Not know, oh my heart is in it. Or I want to have friendly competition and see what his best is and what my best is. It didn't feel like that, and that's probably why it felt so flat to me. Because as soon as I heard, oh, you fell off like the Simpsons, I'm like, come on, man, like this is some basic ass shit, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, I mean, it wasn't anything to write home about. Very basic. I mean, you get your point across, and the fact that some of those lines that you use inside the verse could be applied to you is a crazy part. And the fact that you have
Mm,
double entendre bars that can be related to your projects is the insane part of that. That's another reason why, like I said, I probably would want to delete that too. Because you would have
mm,
Kendrick stands coming like, oh, you calling another rapper's album sleepy? Have you heard your projects, nigga?
yeah. Yeah,
So
that was hard to defend.
and as much as I like J. Cole, I was like, damn. I remember people calling him NyQuil Cole and oh, if I have insomnia,
Yeah,
let me just play like Warren Center or Sideline Story and it'll fix my insomnia. Like I've heard that way too many times throughout the last decade plus. So if there's anybody who has the title of putting niggas to sleep in the big three, it is you.
exactly. And that's the thing that I was talking about too. I was like, bro, I don't know if people remember because I know like a lot of listeners now that are seeing these three be the perennial rappers don't really remember the no pun intended come up of all three rappers.
Yeah.
So Kendrick started out lightning fast out the gate. Drake was phenomenal out the gate, and then there was J. Cole.
Yeah.
And we like in me and Landon being just like lovers of lyrics and rap music and like having somebody else that we could relate to that was around our age group.
Yeah.
We saw what Jay-Z saw, but we didn't get to hear what we didn't get to hear our vision come to life until very late in his career. I even talked to my brother-in-law about it. I was like, man, I don't know if you were too young to remember, but I was like, bro, I was like, there even when it came out, like the freshman list came out around the year that Kendrick was on it, I was like,
Mhm.
the Jay NyQuil shit wouldn't stop. Like I was like, this man was getting trashed every goddamn day. And I was just like, anytime like the thing that people don't remember is don't remember the era of who the fuck is Travis Scott. There was like a 4-year span of that. There was an era of who the fuck is Travis Scott, and right after that was the era of like there's no before that was the era of J. Cole is boring. There used to also be before that, Kid Cudi doesn't speak English because people always try to figure out what the hell he was saying. Yeah, they used to make fun of that all the time. So like he had what was it, his freshman? He was on the 2010 freshman list.
It reminds me of when I bought Sideline Story, his first album, and I was at UNT. We had like a little listening party in the dorm. And niggas was trying to give me money because not because they thought the album was good, but because they felt sorry for me for spending $10.
Crazy.
So like, because I went back and listened to that album, I think was it last year or whatever. I was like, damn, this shit really don't hold up that well at all.
No, it
Like,
doesn't.
I like Nobody's Perfect still with him and Missy, but like most of those songs, I'm just like he recycled some of the songs off of Friday Night Lights and put it on there,
Yep.
and and I was like, so you're just gonna be lazy and just not
I
even
mean,
give
let's
your
be real. No, nobody really heard it, so we were good. Like
that
we
is
knew,
that is true.
not anybody, but
Yeah,
most people
because
didn't
like
know.
because even when he dropped Who Dat, I was like, now you got better than this, bro. Like Jay-Z been hyping you up for a while now, and Who Dat came out, and I was like, okay, hopefully we can get more and more stuff from him. And of course, when Born Sinner dropped and stuff, I was like, okay, I'm liking this. And then eventually, same argument. Like every single album he had dropped, everybody was like, okay, this is eh, this is eh. And then
Yeah,
2014 Forest Hill Drive, which is still my favorite album from him, felt like that was his his true coming out party because even people who I consider like casual listeners of hip hop or just casual listeners in general, he had a bunch of songs on there that could reach out to them, but then I can also be like, hey, I fuck with this.
right.
And got a lot of good songs on there that, had very good messages, Love Yours, Fire Squad is plenty of them. Get Off My Dick, I know was was a hit. A lot of people love that shit, but for all the wrong reasons. I mean, oh man,
My
so
favorite part of the
many.
whoa, get up out there, whoa. All right, man. I don't get it. I don't get it, but I'm with it.
Then of course, KOD For Your Eyes Only and stuff, and I'm just like, he has a very disgruntled, I guess the best way to say, discography. Like it's very fractured because I can honestly say like when it comes to like a 4 album run or whatever, like that one is pretty forgettable, unfortunately.
Yeah,
When it comes
yeah.
to now, when it comes to Drake and Kendrick, that's where both of them have him beat. Drake came out with "Thank Me Later" first. It was cool for a debut album. It's not something that I go back and listen to personally. But when it comes to Take Care, he made that jump. Take Care to me is still his best album that he's dropped. And he made a significant jump between those 2 albums. When it came to J.
True.
Cole, Sideline Story and Born Center, he did make a jump, but it wasn't as significant as a jump as Drake did. Then on top of that, Nothing Was the Same came out too, and then of course Views. Like that's a pretty good album run. And of course Kendrick, came on the scene with Good Kid, Mad City. Like a lot of people, no matter how far Kendrick's career go, I always say that's his magnum opus. I don't believe so. I believe that's To Pimp a Butterfly. But
Same.
yeah, but the fact that his storytelling and the way that he came through on that album that reached out to the casual listener, that reached out to people who love lyrics, and many other variety of things on that album. Like that album right there, it it stands out so much when it comes to that particular era of hip hop in the 2010s. We had some bangers in 2010. You know,
Do that.
like Dark Twisted Fantasy, obviously, banger. Good Kid, Mad City, banger. But 2010 to 2020, or maybe a little bit less than that, that was a golden era of hip hop. We was having a lot of good music, a lot of good artists out there. Unfortunately, like I said, when it comes to J. Cole's discography, it's not the strongest.
It's not. And
That's
that
why.
leads us.
Oh yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
about to say that. I'm about to say that's why he said what he said on 7 Minute Drill. Oh, now I'm reaching my prime. Yeah, I hope so because you wasted a lot of years back there, buddy.
Yeah, so that now you have to tell me what you thought of the disc, because you told me what you thought of the track in general.
Yeah, yeah. The diss in general, yeah. Like I said, I just felt like he could have came much stronger. It just felt like really basic bars. It's not anything that really catches my eye or anything like that. Um, I mean, because what really ruined it for me is him trying to say, "Oh, well, your first album was a classic, and your last one was trash or whatever, and the second one, like, come on, bro. Like, why are we lying to each other? You wish that you could make something like To Pimp a Butterfly. Believe me,
Right.
everybody believes that you wish you could make something like that. But yet, whenever you would try to make albums and stuff, he would always get that NyQuil call, and I don't care what nobody say. There's no way that he did not see those tweets or articles or anything like that going about his music and how sleepy it makes niggas.
Yeah. I don't see how he would have missed it either.
There's no way. But yeah, the diss overall, like I said, just watered down because the double entendres that could be applied to him, the basic bars, it just I really wanted more out of him when it came to it because anybody could say that. It don't even have to be Cole saying that. Like, you're known as a lyricist. So go ahead and show people why, oh, I'm a fan because of this, because of that. Like, I can expect anybody to do the bars that he did. And that's the unfortunate part about the diss.
Exactly. And so for me, I said from the very beginning I have like screenshots and messages too for anybody that ever doubts me saying these things early. Because it's weird. I have predicted things in music on a pretty consistent basis, and I've been right.
Yeah.
I literally said that this diss track was an afterthought. Word for word. I said it sounded like he didn't want to do the shit. I was like, and also it's not that good. Like so when I when I heard it initially, DJ sent me a clip and it was that Simpsons line, and I was like, that is god awful. So I sent it to my brother-in-law because there's a generational gap. I am smack dab in the middle of being a millennial. He is literally he's smack dab in the middle of being Gen Z. So I was like, and I didn't want to really leave my opinion on it. I was like, I was like, you know what? Just listen to it. And he listened to it and he was like, J. Cole may got him one. And I was like, I hope. Because, like, once again, I'm a pretty big J. Cole fan, but I also know the reality of J. Cole's music and his career. So I waited. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to this the right way. I always listen to full albums for anybody that doesn't know. I usually do reviews. I'm used to it. That's exactly how I listen to albums. I don't care what the single is. I'm listening to the album full through.
Hmm.
So I listened all the way through, and I was like, God damn, this album is pretty good. Because to me, I think J. Cole's best work is the off season. I just think that he doesn't have the highest highs that he's had in Forest Hill Drive, but he does not have the significant lows of Forest Hill Drive. No one in their right mind can tell me that they're listening to Hello or Sandro Pay. You're not. Don't lie.
Hello is fine. Saint Tropez is probably one of the worst songs I ever heard.
Sandro Pay is sadly just it's like a cover of another song. Like it's the song already exists. He just added himself to it and then decided not to rap over it, which was weird. I don't like Hello. I'm not gonna get let up on that. Hello
I'll
may
give
be
you
an
that.
okay song, but it's a bad J. Cole song.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It is a bad J Cole song, but I do like it.
That's fair. And so when it came to the diss, like being prepared for what I was going to hear, I think what really got me is like I said, that Simpsons line, and it starts like, the chorus is really lazy. Light work, like it's PWC, it's a cold world. Keep the heat under your seat. First of all, you know what? As big of a fan as I am, bro, it's been 14 years? Stop doing the cold world shit. It's
Oh,
old. It is Jesus Christ, it is old. Like just let it go. It's not a good play on words, especially when you use it 100 times. Like so that was like my first gripe already. The PWC part was actually kind of cool. But I got a phone call, they say somebody dissing, you want some attention, they come with extensions. Like, all right, that's fine. Then but like it just came off so lazy that it was like any part of me that was excited was just like also simultaneously bored. So I guess my review of the song and the breakdown of the lyrics will probably be the same. So buckle up. So he said, I came up in the Ville, so I'm good with the tension. He's still doing shows, but fell off like The Simpsons. Probably one of the worst punchlines I've ever heard from a lyrical rapper. Just saying.
yeah, it's pretty ass.
It's pretty ass. And also it falls back on itself because Kendrick this time last year had the highest grossing rap tour of all time. So it just bro, and like this is the reason why like it's hard for me to talk about these things with people because I pay attention. Like I'm not only a student of the game as a writer, but I'm a student of the game as a listener. You can't say something like that immediately backfires. But anyway,
Yeah,
and also
yeah.
the Simpsons haven't fallen off. What the hell? It's been great. Your first shit was classic. Your last shit was tragic. Your second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gassed it. So there was confusion here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we've all come together and we've realized what albums he was talking about. He is
People
not
were trying
starting
to say
out
Section 80. Yeah.
exactly. Nobody is talking about Section 80. Just to let y'all know. Kendrick himself has said that his debut album was Good Kid, Mad City. Let that go.
Mhm.
The second album the last shit he's talking about being tragic is 100%, Mr. Morale and the
Yes.
Big Steppers. And the second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gas it. He's talking about To Pimp a Butterfly. And your third shit was massive. That was your prime, which was Damn. Which um I want there's another thing I have too.
Commercially, yes, it was a big boom for sure.
Yeah. But there's also a thing that I need to clear up for a lot of people. Anytime that they bring up Kendrick winning the Pulitzer Prize, it was not for To Pimp a Butterfly, it was for
But for
Damn.
damn.
I just had to say that because so many people have pissed me off with that. Bro, To Pimp a Butterfly won a Pulitzer Prize. No, it didn't. It won all the Grammys that Good Kid, Mad City could have won. Like it's a weird progression
A good
because
cat,
it's
Good Kid, Mad City should have won.
yeah, it won as many Grammys as Good Kid, Mad City should have won. But Damn won the Pulitzer Prize that we believe To Pimp a Butterfly should have won.
Yeah.
And Damn had the commercial reception that we thought all his albums would have. Just to be honest, but it had the single that we thought, Money Trees or the other, or any other single that he's put out so far would have been because Humble was humongous. Anyway,
Hmm.
so to go forward, I was trailing right behind, and I just now hit mine. That is not as a 37-year-old rapper, that's probably one of the worst things that you can say. And like I just anytime I think about it, because people are like, man, he's almost 40. The matter of fact, take that back. He was born in 85. He's 39. So for J. Cole to literally be 39 years old and say I just hit my prime is possibly one of the worst things that you can say as far as yourself being a proficient rapper. That at 40, you just now become the rapper that you should have been when you started doing this stuff when you were, wait, let's see, he's 39 now, like when you were like 24.
Yeah, about to say your mid-20s or so.
Yeah. So it's just like,
And then
I'm
also
not,
saying that you're about to hit your prime when you're damn near 40, especially given how society is when as soon as you turn 26 or 27, oh, you're old as hell. And you're here talking about, your prime at 39. Nah, bro.
exactly. Now I'm in front of the line with a comfortable lead. How ironic. As soon as I got it, now he wants something with me. I mean, it was mainly a Drake, but we'll just keep on going. That's not like a big line for me to even address, but it's fine. Well, he caught me at the perfect time. Jump up and see. Boy, I got I got here off a bar. It's not no controversy. We'll just let it go. Like I've the thing that cracks me up is that if you ever look at uh, oh, you know what? I'll go to the next line first. Oh, funny thing about it, bitch. I don't even want the prestige. Fuck the Grammys because them crackers ain't ever done nothing for me, ho. But here's the thing that I always have to say about the Grammys. You'll bring it up when people retire. You'll bring it up in regards to ranking them in greatness. It's almost like to me the Grammys isn't like getting a ring in the NBA. That's like getting number ones. This is like getting all stars or like all star nominations or like all
Mhm.
star, votes. If somebody
Yeah.
made it to the all star team 18 times and somebody made it six, but then you'd be like, well, half of them are voted by people and people are stupid as shit. It's like, well, yeah, the other half are fucking coaches in the NBA and the rest of the NBA. So it still holds some merit because your peers see you as being as good as you are.
Mhm.
That's how I feel about Grammys. Are they the end all be all? No.
No.
But if I pull up every other award that Kendrick has won, you are still getting shit on. Once again, bring up something that doesn't immediately fall back on you. We already know Kendrick has won as many Grammys as J. Cole has nominations. That's end all be all. I don't even have to say anything past that.
Mhm.
Drake has had 5 more nominations than Kendrick, and Kendrick has 12 more Grammys. 12. And
And
if
that's what happens when you put quality over quantity.
right. And let's not forget that this man has MTV awards, NAACP awards, Billboard Music Awards, BET Hip Hop Awards, YouTube Music Awards, iHeartRadio Awards, like Soul Train Music Awards. Like American Music Awards. Matter of fact, just won it again for Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers after he won it for Damn. But
Let these niggas
he is a very decorated artist, and it's rightfully so. So to the whole fuck the Grammys thing meant a lot to people that are feeling the need to match up with Jay-Z, which also big critique of this. I'll get to at the very end. But anyway, you know, he's decorated in other ways other than the Grammys. So J. Cole is still lagging behind there as well, which means your critical reception is probably not as good as Kendrick's. It's something that, like, if you really were putting your all into a diss, you probably would reconsider. But it is what it is.
that comfortable lead is still very comfortable.
But it's comfortable for the wrong person. Yeah, funny. Let's see. Slugs took my nigga's soul. Drugs took another one. The rap beef ain't realer than the shit I seen in Cumberland. So, I mean, why even apologize? But here we go. He averaging one hard verse a year every 30 something months. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was funny, but also
It is
uh
funny.
This is a callback to Jay-Z's Takeover. When you say that's one hot album every 10-year average. And if he wasn't dissing, then we wouldn't be discussing him. I mean, he's been talked about all the time. But also, once again, he just came off of last year, the highest grossing hip hop tour in history. Of course, it got eclipsed by a few people, by 3 people. Mainly being Drake, because Drake had J. Cole with him. But anyway, we passed.
And Beyonce.
So it took 2 to do what 1 did. All right. Lord, don't make me have smoke this nigga because I fuck with him. But push come to shove on this mic, I will humble him. All right. It's a transition line.
Yep.
I'm Nino with this thing. This that New Jack City meme. Yeah, I'm aiming at G Money, crying tears before I bust him. I mean, if you visualize the meme, you get it.
Yep. Wesley Snipes crying before he pulled the trigger.
Yeah. Now, is it really good? It's all right. Anybody that says it's a hard bar is like, all right, you're overselling right now.
It gets the point across for sure.
It does. Let's see. Verse 2. Here we go. This is the part where the beat switches, and I think it's a energy sample used from Drake's Energy. It says, I got mixed feelings about these fucking rap niggas. It's over for that cap. We official cap pillars. I don't like that bar. It's not a good punchline. But also, it's a reference to No Vaseline. The bigger the cap, the bigger the peeling. 2-6. we don't at niggas, we get at niggas. So I think that's like a county. That's the county code. Yeah, that's the county code for Cumberland. But also, no, there's no other punchline. Actually, I take that back. It's just about the county code. And see, shoot a nigga lights out. Yeah, my dog stat fillers. That stuff is triple double. Get your ass back. God, I gotta say it all over again. Shoot a nigga lights out. Yeah, my dog stat fillers. Stat stuffers. Triple double. Get your ass black duffel. I like that line. It's just I messed up the delivery. Body bag. Which I don't know if this is like the, what's got when Kendrick say, what do you say, the boogeyman? Is it where you say boogeyman or Beetle? No, it's not Beetlejuice. But the line where he's like, say it 3 times and he'll come out to get you. I forgot. But I don't know. It could be a reference to that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't assume things that aren't contextualized. Cold World, your structure for Pilates class. Once again, that stupid ass line. Get a nigga stretched if I feel the disrespect. Your arms might be too short to box with a god. You live his life without the pressure of a constant facade. It sounds good, but I'm not gonna lie. It's just another callback to another another diss track. Like, I think that's the thing that's making me annoyed with this. But anyway, we'll get over there. Yeah, Kendrick's 5'6", J. Cole is like 6'2" or 6'3". Yeah. And then also saying that he's living a fake life, or I guess like the things that he stands for are just like not really who he is. He says, I pray for peace, but if a nigga sees these positive vibes, a Falcon 9 inside my pocket, bitch, it's rocket gonna fly. I like it. Now it's popping outside like it's the top of July. I like that too. My text flooded with the hunger of a toxic reply. I actually like that line a lot. I'm hesitant. I love my brother, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm powered up for real. This shit feel like swatting a fly. It's a great way to downplay competition. 4 albums in 12 years, nigga, I can divide. And this is when I start to get pissed all over again. Once again, this is another bar taken from Jay-Z. But on top of that, in the same 12-year period, guess how many more albums J. Cole has released? Guess how many more studio albums he's released?
The exact same.
One more. 5/4. Oh my god.
Gotcha.
Oh my god. There's so many.
What a comfortable lead.
but uh, but he has done like I think he did what 2 compilation albums in that time period. We was it Revenge of the Dreamers 1? We just that didn't happen. 2 and 3 is where it's at. Don't pay attention to the first one. It was not that good. I'm sorry, Omen. I still don't understand why you're on that label. But he says, shit, if this is what you want, I'm indulging in violence. Put pictures in my home. Aim the chrome at your eyelids. I don't know what that means. Oh, put his pictures. Yeah, okay, never mind. So it's just he's using them for target practice. Fly pebbles at your dome, we them stone temple pilots. I don't like this line. It's because it's just like so simple. Like it's not really a deep entendre or anything. And especially because this is towards the end of the song, this is not where you want to end this. But Stone Temple Pilots is a good band. Just in case nobody knows. They got songs like Creep, Sexy Type Thing. You know, I listen to a lot of music, so I think their most popular song is Plush. Anyway, get back to the diss track. This is merely a warning shot to back niggas down. Back in the town where they whipping, working traffic in pounds. My jack jumping about a rapper making a blasphemous sounds. Switching sides like a tassel on the cap and the gown. And so basically saying he betrayed me, you know, flipped over like a cap and a gown, you know, switched to the other side. Which honestly also falls back on him because it's like I have a beef with Drake and you switch sides. So I thought that was hilarious too.
And that's why I said, like, there's certain lines that can be applied to him.
Yeah. I'm fully loaded, nigga. I can drop 2 classes right now. Conductor. Conductor did his shit on that second beat. I know that I said T Minus is one of my favorite producers, but the first beat I hate. I do not like the beginning of 7-Minute Drill. The beat switch to me is the best part. T Minus has produced some great songs. The Motto, Hell Yeah Fucking Right, Swimming Pools, Middle Child, The London, I'm on One, Moment for Life, Kevin's Heart. Trust me, I love T Minus's work. 7-Minute Drill may legit be the worst thing that he's produced. Oh yeah, he did the beat for Ambition. Boy, it's crazy. Crazy.
Oh damn, Ambition.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, he is good. Big Sean's Win Some, Lose Some. I already said Swimming Pools. I'm not gonna do that again. He also produced Crocodile Tears. What in the world? T.I.'s Popping Bottles. Like he's done some great work.
Nigga cooking.
Yes, T Minus is great. But yeah, this beat, no. Just hell no. I don't like it. But yeah, overall the diss is lackluster. It lacks the depth that people keep saying that it has. No, this is the one I will say this, and it's gonna make me sound old. The dumbest Gen Z argument I've ever heard in my life is it just be going over y'all heads. No, it doesn't. Like I could duck and this would hit me in the face. Like it's not deep. And it's probably my biggest complaint about J. Cole, but it also is the biggest thing that works in his favor. J. Cole is not nearly as deep as people make him out to be. J. Cole is my casual listen. And that's not to insult people that think he is the most lyrical rapper of all time. I just listen to a lot of rappers. And when listening to a lot of rappers, like lyricism can be taken in different ways. You know, usually it can be taken from like your perspective. Excuse me, I really had to burp and it just was not coming out. It's all about perspective. On top of being about perspective, it's all about vocabulary. You know, there's a lot of other factors that go into it rather than just the things you say, but also the wit that you have, And I get it. People like directness, but people also like wit. What people don't care for are like metaphorical referencing. People like similes more than they like metaphors. So because it's easier to draw one and two together, people like people like double entendres. They don't want to hear a triple or a quadruple. Uh-oh. Looks like my big boy is up. Leave it pause. I'll be right back.
All right.
Can I pause or do I have the set recorded? You know what? We'll keep it rolling. Fuck it.
All right.
All right, and just like that, we are back. Damn, that means I gotta do editing. It's all good though. But to finish off my point, because I don't want to hog up all the time from you being able to share your thoughts and everything as well. Um, there's been some breakdown of like there was one of my friends that said the boom bap neo soul raps is not what I call lyrical, and I realize some people do. Said lyrical has nothing to do with the style or subject matter. I frame it as based off the difficulty to recreate a piece of art. I think of the Genius videos where they color code stanzas are using the lyrics as instruments in the song itself to flow and cadence. I don't think of that as lyrics at all because lyrics don't mean that in the dictionary. But you know, I think of how I mean, I know that it's like a lyric is usually like a part of a composition or expressing. The dictionary term is expressing direct, usually intense personal emotion, especially in a manner of suggesting or song. Or it says suitable for singing, to a layer or something like that. It's whatever. But in the sense of hip hop, when it comes to, rhythm and poetry, uh, poetry is usually made up of like the flow, which to me is the cadence, and the lyrics, which are the words. Like it's what Rap Genius has built its own platform off of. So when I say I don't think that he's lyrically that deep, I'm usually speaking of the exact opposite of what he's talking about is the subject matter, the style that it's written in, if it's going to be stored, the ability to story tell, the ability to layer lyrics, like to provide understanding. That to me is lyrics. And there's people that he even gave me an example of like, which was weird. He said you can be an amazing artist and lyrically mediocre like Tupac. Now, don't people that are Tupac fans don't get mad. This is just a true thing. I think J. Cole is just very relatable. And for everyone that's ever said that, that J. Cole is more lyrical than Kendrick, I think that's what they mean. I don't think they mean lyrical. I think they mean relatable.
Yes.
And when someone is easy to dissect and easier to understand, it doesn't sound like mumbo jumbo. It actually sounds more lyrical. There was somebody that, oh my god, it was the wildest thing ever. The dude compared. He was like, I really hate when he does this thing with the holy key, and he was like, I hate when he did the whole voice change thing and holy key, and like Jay. He was like, man, Big Sean actually out rapped him on that track. He had better lyrics, and I was like, okay, maybe this guy has a strong argument. And then when he brought up the argument, I was like, no, you just didn't understand what he meant. Like he was rapping, he was like, Big Sean was rapping about some real life shit, and here go Kendrick rapping about zombies. And I was like, bro, this whole verse is about materialism and the second coming of Jesus. What are you on? Like, but I realized that like that's the thing. Sometimes something that is more easily understood and doesn't have to be explained, you base that like lyrical ability is based in your own intelligence.
Mhm.
It's not based really in what it is. So, of course, to me, somebody like J. Cole isn't seen like he is lyrical, but he isn't nearly as lyrical as as a Kendrick Lamar or Lupe Fiasco. When to somebody else, they may actually think that Lil TJ or Lil Baby are very lyrical rappers. Well, you can discern what they're saying. Or
Mhm.
people that like listen to Detroit rap, like them people are those guys are hilarious. Now, are they lyrically, you know, are they lyrically inclined? Are they like putting together these triple entendres and stanzas that people like or like can't possibly recreate, but also can barely think of? I mean, no. But to somebody out there that has that type of discernment and that type of capabilities, yeah, he's lyrical. I mean, these people are lyrical, so I can't get mad at it.
Yeah, I guess I never put that together. Just in regards to like we always say, there's levels to it when it comes to lyricism and stuff, and some people could take certain lyrics from certain people and say that they're lyrical, but that's just on just a standard version, I guess you can say,
Yeah,
and that's okay. I mean, like I don't mind. If people tell me or whatever, oh, I'm listening to the words and stuff like that instead of the beat. Whenever people tell me, oh, it's a catchy beat and stuff like that, and I'd be like, so why you just don't listen to the instrumental then?
exactly. See, I would always jump to that too, and I'm just like, all right,
Because I mean, you can type in on YouTube or whatever and find almost any instrumental out there. It may not be the official, but I mean, you can find damn near close. If that's all you care about, but obviously it's not.
exactly,
Especially when it comes to songs like "Sexy Red" and stuff like that. Um, like I remember someone was trying to tell me, "Oh, no, she's spitting some real stuff, bro." Like, all right, man, whatever floats your boat.
exactly, and that's why like I try not to get into I try not to get into debates with people about who is better anymore, just because they usually don't have the scope to. Like it was the same conversation I had with Keenan earlier today at work about the diss track and about even the apology, which we definitely have to branch into the apology before this is all said and done, because we definitely had some thoughts on it and we talked about it earlier.
Mhm.
But it's just the breadth of knowledge that you have kind of impacts the conversations that you have to go along with it. Not saying, oh, I'm so much smarter than everybody else, but this is something that I really take pride in. So of course I know a lot of information on it. So
Mhm.
those that don't have nearly that much insight or don't care, because I know some people that didn't care about this beef at all, and I thought that some of those people were ridiculous. And then especially for the ones that were like their favorite rappers were like were Rhapsody and Drake, and like honestly like people that I would say are respected rappers or like a rapper's rapper. Like
Mhm.
one person that I heard say they didn't give two shits about this beef was somebody that's a huge fan of Rhapsody, No Name, Chance the Rapper, like, and even Kendrick himself. And I was just like, really? I was like, oh, okay, I guess.
That is kind of surprising.
Yeah. But I mean, also, I thought that she was kind of a contrarian, so I didn't care. But yeah, so this, what do you now that we've already talked about this track and we already know that it's been walked back pretty heavily. What do you think about the apology that was given on stage?
In regards to the apology, I feel like I don't, like it just makes me urge for more competition in rap. Like I get the the mental health side of it and stuff like that, but like we were talking about earlier, you can't go about, oh, well, I haven't been able to sleep and this and that, when previous tracks you were dissing other rappers and stuff like that. So how are you able to do all of that previously, and then all of a sudden you do this towards Kendrick and you're like, well, yeah, let me go ahead and delete it. Like that just
Right.
like that just shows me that when people say, oh, or at least try to make Kendrick sound like a boogeyman, you're just feeding more and more into
There it is. It was Candyman. My bad.
it.
I was trying to remember. It was like, just say my name and I promise that you'll see Candyman. And I was like, God damn, what's the name that he said? But yeah, that's it. Go
Oh
ahead,
yeah,
man.
yeah. But yeah, like they're proving his point because there's so many people that seem like they're afraid to go at Kendrick or apologize and stuff like that. And it feels like to me like he's using, oh well, we're very good friends and stuff like that, and I don't want to mess up anything, and you know, like he's just using that as a cop out because he's like, damn. So I guess my diss wasn't received as well as I thought it would be, and well, people gas me up, and I allow peer pressure, get me out of my comfort zone, and this and that. I'm like, bro, it's just rap, bro. Like,
Exactly.
like when it comes to just on the surface, I don't think it's too big of a deal. Obviously, you're gonna have a whole bunch of think pieces when it comes to apologies and being a bigger man, and oh, he's grown since he's dissed rappers in the past, so I can see him, turn over a new leaf and stuff. If that was the case, then why get in the booth in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's,
That's
yeah,
my
so
thought process exactly.
yeah, so like that's just how I feel about it. I mean, because I remember people were like, "Oh, he even had one of his homies, Absol, on the album, and on top of that, he did a diss track." It's like Absol probably knew nothing about that. He probably had his 7 minute drill probably the last day or two before he dropped the project.
The last 7 minutes before he dropped the album.
Yeah, like people just
And that's not even to
just
make a joke. That's I really think that's the point of 7 minute drill. I think he wrote it in 7 minutes or something like that.
that actually makes sense. Either 7 minutes before he dropped the album, or he rushed to do it in 7 minutes, because the song isn't like when I first read the title 7 minute drill, I was like, oh, so we're gonna have a 7 minute diss track. No. so
Yeah,
so yeah, I mean it definitely could relate to that as well. But I didn't like the apology. I would like to see healthy competition. And like I've said from the get go, it's not like we're telling them to go shoot each other and kill or anything like that. Because I'm tired of black on black crime. So obviously, I don't want it to ever get to that. But
yeah,
when it comes to just rap beef, for the most part, it's especially these days, it is nothing but just some verbal shots at each other. That's about it.
exactly. And that brings me to the conversation I had with Keenan. I'm just gonna pretty much read it out and explain any parts that may be missing. Because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, Cole's showing a shine of maturity. I understand where he comes from. Even you yourself said like you understand the mental health aspect of it, and I do as well. Uh, but start with what Keenan was saying. He was saying that and just full disclosure, Black Stripe Prism, aka Keenan, is not the biggest on keeping up with rap news. So he's coming into this with fresh eyes, no bias at all.
Mhm.
And
Which
he
is
said,
which is a helpful,
I actually
that's a helpful viewpoint too.
it is. It really is. He said, I actually gained a lot of respect for J. Cole for apologizing. I know a lot of people will call him weak or clowning him for apologizing. I think it's very mature. He took the route of being the bigger man. Even people saying he lost the rap diss thing. I mean, honestly, I can't blame him. His heart wasn't in it. So, of course, it wouldn't be a good shot back. I don't know. Personally, seeing it from a perspective where people have died over rap beefs, I appreciate that he was mature enough to stop it before it got any worse. And then there's my response. My respect for him is unmoved, and honestly, I will go on record saying I've made fun of him before, and I will continue to do so, even though I'm a big fan. I laid out my points. One, he recorded this half-ass diss track first. He didn't have to. Actually, most people didn't expect him to respond. Now, I actually have sources that back this up. People that were not J. Cole stans expected Drake to respond and did not really think that J. Cole needed to respond.
Mhm.
Now, the ones that are hardcore in J. Cole's circle said if he responds, he's going to kill Kendrick. And the ones that were in Kendrick's corner deeply said they hope J. Cole will respond because it'd be a battle of two titans, even though they clearly thought that J. Cole was going to lose anyway.
Mhm.
I said Cole could have called Kendrick and said, "Hey, are we good, or do we have a problem?" and resolved it. I said, Kendrick and J. Cole are both huge artists, but they also have a long time relationship." Point 3. He spent an entire album talking shit about being the best and being untouchable. But when you challenge, you want the message of peace, knowing that this whole thing was just in the spirit of competition. I think that's hella lame. And then I said, I can name on a single hand rappers that have died from rap beef, but I don't have enough hands to count how many people have died from street beef or rappers that have died from street beef. I can explain that in a second. Oh, actually, I'll actually explain it here. So in conclusion, this is the equivalent of me and Black Stripe Prism getting into a rap beef. Me and him have been friends for almost 9 years now. And we both rap and we both have done a track together. I said, I have no intention of hurting you or your career. But if people think we're both very talented and we're in a competitive space, seeing us duke it out for the best is harmless. I was like, on top of that, we literally watched the battle rap a few days ago, and I checked in on all the artists that participated, and none of them are dead. I was like, I respected being heavy on him for backing down, but I don't get it. His response, I say most people expect him to reply, though. Social media has been very vocal about it. Once again, J. Cole's corner. He shouldn't have listened, though. And yeah, I know. Yeah, he could have called. He said, I have no rebuttal for that. I haven't heard the album, but I'm guessing there's more of a story to what the public knows. We also only see what's in the media, so I'd like to believe there was more to it of why he chose the peace route. But I will ask, did he specifically take shots at anyone during this album, or was it general boasting like most rappers do? And he said, yeah, but most of the public just knows beef to be rap beef, even if it really started from the streets. He was like, yeah, remember that normal fodder don't research or have perception that I do. And that my insight is maybe bigger than others. And I was like, oh yeah, I got to check myself on that. I'm like a student of this thing. And he was like, basically, you're more on the Huey side of things, and people are like Riley, just kind of wanting to see the nigga moment happen. So, of course, he doesn't curse, so he just said N-word moment, which I think is hilarious. So, to wrap this up, I said, I'll be honest, it was half and half with people expecting Cole to respond. I can give leeway on that. A lot of people were waiting for Drake since it was mainly directed at him and stemmed from his song. So the Cole stands wanted him to respond because they think that he's better than Kendrick, which I do not believe he is. I didn't put that in their message. There's honestly not more to the story. Kendrick and Cole have been friends for over 10 years. Kendrick is competitive to the core and believes that preserving the history of how rap is also defines who is the best. Cole connects more with the new school of rappers who don't even think that that's really the case anymore to be the best, but to be successful. It's kind of like the show of, being number one. I said the album was both general bragging and shots at Kendrick, but also something to consider. And I hope that a lot of people consider this. If you're playing against the computer in a fighting game and you're saying I can beat anyone, Don't be surprised when someone picks up the controller and says, "Cool, I'll challenge you." I was like, to me, that was the equivalent of that. Like, I
Mhm.
sit here and be like, "Man, can't nobody beat me at basketball." And then you just keep playing at the gym, with a bunch of bums, and you play D1 ball. So when somebody else comes on the court and they be like, "I play D1 ball, let's play 1-on-1." And then you're just like, "You know what? I'm sorry. I really didn't mean that." You know, I lost to, we played horse together and I lost by a couple letters. I didn't really mean that I was better than everybody. I was just saying that, like, I think I'm really good. And you just be like, that doesn't make any sense. I said, and I do agree with the fact that I have more insight than most. I said, but I really have to emphasize it doesn't change the fact that most, if not all, rap beef that ends in violence is from rappers who bring the streets to rap. I said this in the same episode where rappers die too much. Street artists or street rappers end up living and dying by the streets. Regular, everyday rappers don't get touched. And I have to emphasize it because it really pisses me off when people think that, rap breeds violence and stuff like that. No, the streets follow you wherever you go, whenever you decide to commit yourself to the streets.
Yeah.
And there's great examples, and I hope I don't offend anyone by having these examples. But I said, we know why Young Dolph is dead and not Nas. We know why King Von is dead and not Ice Cube. It's never about being a rapper that has a beef. It's about being someone from the streets that has street beef. So I just want to put that in perspective because a lot of people that are just like, he chose a peaceful route for this great reason, or he just wants peace in rap and everybody can win. You weren't going to get into it with this dude anyway. I mean, even with the line about your arms being too short to box with the guy, like, we knew you weren't going to actually set up a fist fight and go try to fight Kendrick. Kendrick knew that. Kendrick wanted you to do the same thing that he challenged everybody to do in Control. Out rap me. Outclass me in every way that you can. I don't care if it took me months to respond. I don't care if it takes me 2-3 years to make an album. Out rap me. Show me that no matter what goes on, you're better than me. So the spirit of competition is dying, but I feel like in the places or spaces where it is still a thing, I feel like those people are like, it's grimier for them. Like, for instance, with the NBA, a lot of people complain about, they ain't even tough like they used to. The NBA is too friendly. Everybody's soft. No, the NBA players of today realize that their job is a job. There's no reason for LeBron to go on the court and want to spit in James Harden's face. Never should even be a thing. It's a job. Are they competitive as soon as the clock starts and as soon as the tip off happens? Absolutely. They're locked in. They're in the 1% of some of the greatest basketball athletes in the entire world. If you don't think that they have a competitive bone in their body, you tripping. So rap has kind of gotten into the same thing. We all can work on our success separately and together. We don't have to go at each other's throats because you know who's going to be the best? The person that just performs the best. And that's kind of J. Cole's thinking. That's also been Drake's thinking. But Drake gets dragged into being competitive with people that he feels that he has a thorough angle on. And of course, that's like the next part, and I don't want to jump into that too soon. But that's kind of the thing with J. Cole is like J. Cole is in the space of where newer era rappers stay. They don't care about rap beef. They want to make money, they want to live, and then they want to give their fans what they deserve, and then they want to go home and chill out. And that's okay, but it's also what sucks because I said it not too long ago about rap. Rap rap now doesn't really respect the history of rap, and they also like in this way have a way of revising history over a very short time period. But even worse, they just dismiss it. Like, for Melly Mel to drop a diss track to Eminem shouldn't have been huge. No, because they are both way past this time period where them dissing matters. Like there was no real weight behind the diss track, but in the competitive nature of hip hop and how these two people have been a staple to hip hop, that's huge. Like that's big. That's almost like I don't know exactly who. It's almost like Tim Duncan saying he wants to go 1-on-1 with Bill Russell, and you'd be like, "What the hell?" Like, if I told somebody that that was a real game that happened, they would be like, "That's ridiculous. That should never happen." But that's part of the nature of rap music. Is that there always wants to be somebody that earns their respect and they want to be on top of the game. And now that that's going away, a lot of people are also becoming less interested in rap. The only thing that has been interesting in rap in the past year and a half to 2 years is literally the short term beef between Nicki Minaj and Meg The Stallion. Meg The Stallion said one freaking bar, and we got Nicki Minaj going a 12-hour rant, reduce reduce herself to releasing one of the crappiest diss tracks I've heard. Also, she also in my record book has the worst diss track ever made. Stupid Ho is one of the worst songs I have ever had flow through my ears. But anyway, but that like if you really think about it, nothing exciting has really happened in the past few years for men in rap. So don't get mad when people gravitate towards this, because not only are these people staples in the hip hop community, and yes, the big three right now is not an opinion. I just want to let people know that. It's kind of like with Shonen Jump, when people are like the big three, Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, like it's not a matter of opinion. These things are established through fame, popularity, and longevity.
Mm-hmm.
These artists have sustained themselves over a 15-year career each.
Yeah, easily.
So yes, so these people are the big three. And the people that are trying to replace them, like one person was like, well, J. Cole was never consistently in the big three. At one point, Tyler the Creator had it. At one point, Future had it. At one point, Lil Baby. I was like, Tyler the Creator and Lil Baby would be their own generational big three. Because they like, if you compare them right now, let's say just sales or even tours, no tour is bigger than Dreamville, Drake, and Kendrick. That is a modern day rapper on a solo tour. It doesn't happen. Lil Baby had a fantastic solo tour. It doesn't hold a candle. Tyler the Creator, fantastic solo tour. You want to know who's not going to open up for Tyler the Creator? Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick.
Yeah, not a chance.
Like it just doesn't happen. So it's okay. Yes, this is the big three. Stop trying to replace people. If this apology automatically made you lose your fandom and you wish to replace him in the big three, you weren't a really good fan to begin with. Do I believe that J. Cole has ever earned his spot in the big three? Yes. But if I had to do it like music taste wise, no. To me, J. Cole has always been fifth in class. I think that Big Crit outclasses him with ease. I think as far as popularity, Big Sean had a bigger start, like a much bigger lead as a starting rapper. I mean, he was signed to Kanye, but also Kanye kind of hated Big Sean, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But as far as seeing how these artists have sustained themselves, put some respect on J. Cole's name. We did go over his discography and make fun of the diss track, but the amount of work and effort that he has put in and the label he has been able to cultivate, he definitely belongs. Because outside of Party Next Door showing like butt naked women as an album cover, what has OVO done? Kendrick left TDE and now all he has is Baby Keem. So it's just like people have their strengths in different areas, is what I'm saying. But anyway, I'll stop ranting. Anything you want to add on to that?
Like I would say that the apology, in my eyes, since we're talking about big threes, that apology made him the Chris Bosh of the Miami Heat, basically. Like you can decide who's LeBron and who's D Wade when it comes to Drake and Kendrick, but yeah, J. Cole clearly just made himself Chris Bosh off of this apology, and it's very unfortunate. And the fact that J. Cole already knows that Kendrick has been beefing with Drake for, 5, 10 plus years now, or
Right.
whatever. And you go partner with him or whatever. And as much as we've been wanting a album with both of them on there, and we still haven't got that, nor will we ever get it probably now. But fact that happened, yeah, I just can't stand that it happened. Obviously, I'm still gonna be a J. Cole fan. I'm not gonna just be like, oh well, this apology, fuck him. That's just stupid.
Right.
Like, that's just going with the crowd. That's just, you know, like not even having your own mindset and stuff. Like, I don't care who people like and who people don't like. It doesn't dictate how I view people's music or how I take in people's opinions and all that different stuff. But there's plenty of people who would tell me, "Oh, well, Lupe, well, he sucks and this and that." I don't give a damn. I listen to him because, like I listen to him because I like his music, still enjoy it to this day, and nobody's opinion is gonna make me be like, wake up one day and you know what? I'm just gonna delete all of Lupe's music from my library. Like,
Exactly.
I've seen videos of people just going through their libraries and deleting any J. Cole project. I'm like, okay, now y'all going a little bit, overboard. Like it ain't obviously I'm disappointed that we ain't have no competition, but will I ever go that far? No, it's not that big of a deal. It really
It's
is.
not.
Like it's not the end of the world. It's just something I would have enjoyed a lot, but it's not the end of the world. But that's just how society has become. It's either you do what I want or do what I say, and if you don't, fuck you. And fuck you forever. It's just this whole idea of, oh, we gotta have what we want right here, right now, or else. Like people really feel like they can really threaten artists and stuff like that. Oh well, since he did that, I'm no longer gonna ever listen to any project and this and that. And then watch when the follow drop, streaming numbers are gonna be out, out the door.
Exactly.
Because people are gonna be like, oh well, just because he deleted a 7 minute drill don't mean that he could potentially have something on the follow. So regardless of what you say right now, people, you can say that you hate J. Cole, I'll never listen to him again, blah blah blah. Trust me, as soon as the album drop, you'll be right back listening. So I don't want to hear anything about, people's opinions. I call them short term opinions because yeah, it ain't gonna last long.
Exactly.
So yeah, with that being said, like J. Cole, you do whatever you want, man. It's unfortunate, but my opinion, you wasn't on Kendrick's level from the get go, and of course you apologizing definitely further it makes you further away from him, and, and your peak hopefully starts with the fall off. I mean, obviously, Might Delete Later is a good quality mixtape if that's what they want to call it. But if your prime, like you allegedly say, is starting now, that means that the fall off needs to be that all time classic album that you're chasing. Kendrick has arguably two of them. So you need to find, your one true classic album. And hopefully the fall off is that album.
I hope so too, especially if that's going to be the note that he wants to go out on.
Yeah, for sure. I,
But
I,
yeah,
I truly hope he brings it, man. I really do.
not for real. I do. I think so. I hope so too. I mean, I've been wanting him to get away from being the producer and rapper. He did that. Now he's focusing on his rap skills. He's doing that pretty well. He has the commercial attention. He seems to be very focused. I just want him to execute now. I want him to sit down and actually work with multiple artists on how to execute the fall off correctly. I don't
Yeah.
want him to be in his own space. You gotta get away from that. You've had middling reviews almost your entire career, man. This is time to blow it out the water and be the absolute best. And I
Mhm.
don't care if people say reviews don't matter. You can't discount so much stuff to make your narrative work. You can't say Grammys don't matter. You can't say reviews don't matter. You can't say, like you can't say these other awards and accolades don't matter. You can't say a Pulitzer Prize doesn't matter. After a while, something is going to have to matter in solidifying him in the books of rap history.
At the end of
Something's
the
got to
day,
give.
no matter what you do, you want recognition for whatever your field is.
Exactly. You
So
want recognition for being great.
So we can downplay the Grammys, we can downplay the people's opinions, whether it's from articles or reviews and Metacritic and all the other stuff. You can downplay it as much as you want to, but you can't tell me that these artists don't have yes men or people who bring back articles and stuff like that and tell, oh, well, so and so said they didn't like it or this and that, they didn't like it, and they gave this your album a D or C or like they have many of those people around them. Like you can't pretend like you ignore all the outside noise.
Exactly.
Like you're not finna just drop an album and be like, well, I liked it, so that's all I care about. All right,
I like this, so it's a classic.
yep.
Ah,
Like,
Jesus.
that's how you judge it. You can't be like, oh, every album I drop is a classic. I mean, that's what you should say. You're the one who made it, so of course you're gonna
Exactly.
think everything is great. Same thing when I was about to say something about Schoolboy Q, but that ain't. Yeah,
No, but his album has been extremely well received compared to what we thought.
I know, and
Homeboy put
that's
like an 87 on Metacritic. I mean,
and
granted, Metacritic music is like kind of down right now, but
that's
I
the
still know how to
confusing
research
part.
it.
That's the confusing part to me. I'm like, okay, it's well received, and I guess like
Yeah,
that's the best way for me to put it. But I mean, like I just said, that's my opinion. I mean, if overall people like it, then hey, people like it. That's fine.
yeah,
It's just not for me. I mean, it's don't have any replay value to me. It's for someone who's been gone for as long as Kendrick has been gone too. I was definitely expecting more, but hey, if he's happy with it, like I just said, that's how some artists view it. Hey, I'm happy with it, so that's all I care about.
right. And I want the I want the best for all of these artists. I want everybody to drop classical stuff. I want everyone to drop just fantastic music that is going to be well received and that people will enjoy. I don't want bad music to come out. Like I genuinely want people to care about the things they do, and I want the listeners to care about the music that they bring that is brought to them.
Mhm.
And if everything doesn't have to be perfect, but it's okay to demand better too. Like I think that's probably one of the craziest things is like people get so happy just to hear from an artist that like they don't want to demand better. Is even with artists that I really like is is Mr. Morale the Big Stepper is my favorite Kendrick album? No. Do I want another To Pimp a Butterfly? Not exactly, but I do want something to that level. I do want something with that amount of creativity and vulnerability. And we did get the vulnerability part, but like that grandiose, that like big feeling of this is a generational album. I
Mhm.
want that. I want Kid Cudi to have another Man on the Moon 1 because boy, his albums have sucked since then. But
Man on the Moon too was good too.
it was solid. But god damn it, boy, just sucked at just about everything else. Until Kids See Ghost, it was just like wow, it's just not good. But
Hey,
anyway,
don't hate. That's a classic.
maybe it is. Like I don't, I don't know anymore. But I mean, did you listen to it in the past month?
I haven't listened to it in probably about 2 years.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But but yeah, it's I do want people to have great music to listen to and enjoy. And I guess now the question would be the aftermath of this. Should Drake respond? Do you think he'll respond? Do you care if he responds?
I do think he's gonna respond. I think it'll probably be like a Scary Hours type project or something like that, and he'll like just throw a beef song in there or something like that. Um, do I care if he responds? Yeah, it's because I feel like he's had a couple of pretty good diss tracks in the past. Back to back, Stay Scheming. Like he's had some pretty decent responses. And everybody, get on him about you know, Pusha T, killing him with story added on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely like if he respond. I mean, him and Kendrick have been trading ads for so long now that I want a direct response. Like you said earlier about if Kendrick would have said Drake at the end of his verse, I want to hear Drake say, "Yeah, Kendrick, I'm talking to you, bitch," or something like that. Um, like I would like something like that because people always view Drake as this soft light skinned ass nigga, and he may be. I don't know, but like, but if he was to come out with a track going at Kendrick and actually calling him out by name, like I think that would do a lot for this particular beef, and it could help revive rap to the way it once was.
Absolutely. Or maybe it could have Drake standing alone on the top of a hill.
Yeah,
Or it could honestly kick him all the way off, and then people have to realize that yes, he is a pop star.
sure.
it get
Yeah,
it works both ways, but it is what
and
it
that's
is.
that's probably why he keep going back and forth about it. I mean, I know he say some shit on stage or whatever when he be performing, but nobody give a damn about that shit.
Yeah. The only people that are gonna be receiving that well are the people that paid to be there. And let's be real, if they paid to be there, they're probably a fan.
Yeah,
just being real here. But
I
yeah,
wish I would go to like a Kanye or Kendrick concert and be like, "Hey, I can't stand this motherfucker."
exactly. Nobody's doing that. Nobody. I mean, they do it to comedians. They go there and they boo and all that BS. It's so stupid. But yeah, that's nobody in their right mind is paying hundreds of dollars to go see somebody just to hate on them.
Yeah, that'd be one of the stupidest ways to waste money. If you want to waste money that bad, man, then um, don't waste it. Put it in a charity or something.
For real. But yeah, I that's pretty much all I well, no, I didn't even get my opinion on if I want to respond or not. Do I care if he responds? Absolutely not. I'm actually on the opposite end with this one. I think that
That's-
if he responds, the reason why I don't care if Drake responds is because we already know what's going to happen. It's just going to polarize a big fan base, and a large majority of them do not know rap beef. They do not care about metaphors and lyrics. The same people that's been calling his that's been calling his diss, weak, that's been calling Kendrick's this week, are the same people that are going to say that the world's best thing that happened was Drake responding. It's people in this world that still don't think Drake lost to Pusha T after he himself has gone on a goddamn press tour and, basically said that he lost. So
yeah,
in general, I'm just like, I don't care. And it sounds weird. Like it sounds weird to not really care because it would give us what we missed out with him and Drake. But honestly, I just want Kendrick to work with J. Cole now, and I want Drake to just fade into obscurity as far as difficult rap goes. Like as far as competitive rap goes. I don't want him to say, "Oh, you know, I'm I'm the best at blah blah blah." It's like you're not. I want that to end. Like I kind of want braggadocious rap to slowly die off because nobody is willing to protect their spot. And if Kendrick is the only person willing to, let him have it. And let the full transition of rap take on. But if it's going to be competitive, be real. Be extremely real about it. And like we know it's not going to get past the studio for the most part, but I just want it to be authentic. That's literally all I can say. If it's going to happen, I want it to be authentic and I want it to be in the competitive nature of wanting the best out of each artist. But I don't think I'm gonna get that from Drake because Drake has always been about money. And you'll get that. You will get that, Drake. You have earned a lot of money. I respect you I respect you being able to make money and have your influence. But as far as being a competitive rapper, I don't think you have it in you. And honestly, I don't care to find out. That's it.
Like I said from the get go, like it's okay if we have different opinions. I don't expect us to agree with about everything. That's fine. No wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't have to agree about everything. Just acknowledge I'm right and just be like, you know what?
This guy.
I'll grow into it. I'll grow in it to seeing it your way. Just not right now.
I want some drive-by beef. I want some shooters. I want all of that. No, just
Yeah, said no one almost
playing.
ever. That's not the casual white suburban rap fan may say some shit like that, but no real non-white human being that loves rap music is gonna say some shit like that. And I think
Yeah.
that's probably what people should really get across. And that's what J. Cole needs to get across himself as well. That was just wild. This is a ridiculous thing to think about.
Oh man, rap. What has happened to you, man?
It's just become way more commercialized, and unfortunately what that means is you can't have what you wanted from the originality of the genre or the origin of the genre. That's what I meant to say. You get to have what the commercialized version is, which country artists haven't had a beef since Bush was president. Pop artists don't really have beef at all unless somebody was stole their song.
Mhm.
And you know that's honestly it. There's not much to it. That's it. It's just become the commercial version of it. So if anybody really wants to have beef, you got to go down to the underground, or you got to actually seek out battle rap, which is ironic because battle rap is actually quite popular on TikTok and in short form content pages, but nobody wants to see it from bigger artists because they see them as as a niche.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, it
sure.
is a niche, but they see their entire style of rap as a niche, like to put together those type of punchlines and stuff. So, you know, it is what it is. Rap has changed. There's a space for people that like the music that we like. Unfortunately, those people will probably never be big again. Um, I see I see Saba, IDK, Mick Jenkins, Mac Hami. There's so many people that I listen to. Red Veil, even JPEG Mafia. I don't really care for JPEG Mafia, but he belongs in this conversation.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, he's JPEG Mafia, bitch. We gonna go into that another time though. But there's people in that space that like they'll never pass the threshold of where they are, and I feel bad because with the change in music, they can't. Like, there's not an audience for them like that anymore. A breakout artist could be like Snoop Dogg or Tupac or Ice Cube and have aggressive rap bars and or Common. Like
Mhm.
Common having a breakout in this day and age is nearly impossible.
Yeah.
Common will go down in history as a mediocre actor for like Gen Z and beyond probably.
Mhm.
But it is what it is. They have a place in our hearts. I actually listened to Big Daddy Kane rap yesterday and it was magnificent. And I don't even like that ain't even my that ain't even my era. But Homeboy was flowing. Oh my God. I gotta take notes. But yeah, it is what it is. Hip hop lives on forever, just not in the way that we wanted it to. And that's okay. Because
Yeah.
that means it's growing and we're slowly being left behind. Even though I'm not even in my mid-30s yet.
Mhm. Yeah, but if you let the younger generation tell us, we're damn near 70 years old. So
Exactly. Any outgoing or closing words?
well, since we're talking about mental health and J. Cole, hopefully everybody mental health out there is doing better or doing well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, we go through issues on a day-to-day basis. We can take something from this in regards to J. Cole apologizing. Um, now, obviously, what he did was something you can brush aside, but if you do have issues out there, when it comes to whether it's friends or family and stuff like that, try to work shit out. Life is too
Yeah.
short to be mad and frustrated and stuff about something that's so petty, especially if it's something that was verbally said or whatever. Hey, get over it, man. Um, and just continue to live life. Make sure that you're looking out for the people who look out for you, and treat people the way that you want to be treated. It's pretty simple. I know it's a common concept that is not used a lot, especially given how divided the country is when it comes to politics or many other issues. I'm not going to even get into, but it doesn't take much effort to be kind to people that you may not know, even people that you do know. So y'all take care. God bless. All that good stuff.
I appreciate it. Thank you. We definitely need that message more often. Me on the other end, I coming on the opposite side of things.
It's,
Make sure that if you're gonna throw a rock, don't hide your hand. Be
Mhm.
prepared for the repercussions of the things that you do, and take responsibility for your actions. Sometimes the repercussions for the things you do can be, pretty damning. Other times you can just get a slap on the wrist. But be careful who you mess with. Some dogs do bite. And on the other end of that, make sure to go on Spotify and all other streaming services and stream Smile by Black Stripe Prism, Marquise, and myself. I am the very
Yes.
first verse and I do the hook. I think I did a great hook. My verse,
Yes.
I'm still developing my own style and flow, but my verse is a lot about my family and the things that we've gone through and giving each other a reason to smile. So, with that said, Shonen Speakeasy forever. We out.
Yep.